Ghana, West Africa. Nearly 200 miles north from the coast lies Kumasi, the capital of the Asante region, seat of one of the most powerful kingdoms of West Africa. The Asante have survived years of colonization by the British and incorporation into the modern Ghanaian state. Kumasi Central Market, one of the largest in Africa, is at the heart of the Asante economy. Every day, up to 70,000 people come here to trade in everything from tomatoes to talcum powder. The market is dominated by women. It is they who decide what is sold, who sells it, and at what price. The only men in the wholesale market today are employed by the women as labourers and secretaries. The women have organised themselves into tightly run produce associations, and each association has an elected leader known as the Queen Mother, who with a committee of elders takes all important decisions. Ama is the tomato Queen Mother.
Na dia ne kan kwafa ku sentiri tiru kura metewo no metewo ma enkurazefo metewo ma ekumazefo metewo ma nipa baako kyerese bi kura woni ya ne ba ya no na ntako bi asire dindindindin no me fanye na akokra ko ma tune yem ewura mesro nya abotre na adwumadie no enye pepepe na so nya ntiase o no so nya ntiase na bia e kana saa na eye pepepe.
Next door to the tomato section is the yam wholesale area. This is one of the most important sections of the market, as yams provide much of the Asante staple diet. Ama Sewa is the Queen Mother. She is the most powerful woman in the market and the final arbiter of all disputes.
Yeah, sir, I dear be not so any among what a year. Let me a catch and idea why and why any year. Sabaida, that's what if you pass a baba, not a board in here. Between my wife, I said, maybe I'm told by Hireno. The Baida board in it. Yeah, me, I'm meeting me, Mecca. Now, sir, me, I'm here, Pangino, I ain't.
Nancy, Panya, we are not there. So you're paying I
the pa.
And he said,
which because someone wow, perfect, would train if I don't do us one. That's what you say. We are paying it.
The plantain section of the market is expanding fast. It took the plantain sellers years of lobbying to get themselves a permanent patch to trade on. They only won this area after they had appealed to local politicians to kick out the resident Nigerian traders. A produce Queen Mother's authority depends largely on how she got her position in the first place. Oba was never elected. She got to the top by courting members of the Asante royal family and local politicians.
What's all your word too? Menim penny for them and quite any Kurani and Qua. Ye be prayer for a man. Your quack jam or him or he did our word too. First, your quatantima, and your quachiano, and so him also your word too. Do I him on a mediano? Santine, I was Sachan. Santima, I was Samachan. You would never say. Me, what about you? Minukumasi, heard in mine, body.
Market trading is a family business. It's rare to find a woman trading alone. Invariably, there's a sister or daughter nearby. In the tomato section, family influence is very strong. Ama, the tomato Queen Mother, has two daughters who are both tomato retailers, and they constantly complain to their mother about the high prices and the difficulties they have in making a profit. Tutua is the youngest daughter and her mother's strongest critic.
I said, Casamu, will be some use any penny. That they're quite enough to better. Macahan, want to me can't cough. I said, I was also beyond to me can't cough. Cocaca, not a beer into it. But to me, I was also now my car, but I don't open my
see a Tijuan, as a rabbit. Many of the junior boca. Mammy, a city has a city has Sunday. I never come like a city as an aqua. Was some of your mind. Let me intimate. No ham like no ham like a phone. What you will do my own to say what you want or to most of them. Second, I don't know what I'm Casacre and Yanti. So some dear would tell me a car, maybe be a year. Obey the Abba, but not from Casamia Penning to the because we would know be at us. I did not be a cool. You wake up from here, it is really the cartoon. And yes, I walk. See, I said, I say, Mamma. See, I said, I won't hear it.
There's enormous pressure to fix the price of tomatoes quickly. A couple of hours in the scorching heat and they begin to perish. The tomato queen mother delegates price fixing to members of her committee of elders. It is they who negotiate the price with the women who bring the produce from the rural areas. Kumasi is not a tomato growing area, so the price is usually high and bargaining fierce. The woman on the right has brought a lorry load of tomatoes from Accra. The three women arguing with her are the Tomato Association's price fixers. It took an hour to knock down the Accra woman's price to 160 cedis. It's only when the price is fixed that the retailers, who've been waiting around patiently, can buy the tomatoes and hire labourers to carry them away to the retail market. The plantain section. Unlike the yam and tomato queen mothers, who were elected by their members and so have popular support for their iron rule, Oba, the plantain queen mother, has a permanent struggle to maintain order. 5 plantain sellers who accused her of taking more than her fair share of the profits recently tried to overthrow her, but she used her political influence and held on to her job. She's now finding it difficult to settle one of the many fights and disputes that break out in her section. The dispute has broken out because the woman in white has been accused of selling rotten plantain. Feelings are running high, and most of the sellers have ganged up against her in support of the woman in green, who has refused to pay the price she originally negotiated. The case has been reported to Oba. She has to maintain order and settle the dispute, which is as much about her authority as it is about rotten plantain.
and what I intellectual may go in office, and they may buy in fear, they was some they can make far, they are quite ye. A year I make be a do a young quantum down on them. And see, 1 million as a walk here, that's by a Yamaba Madaurama. Sons of by Otimi, listen. Baby, our penny. Somebody said, Minukia and come home with some. Since I printed out as an hour, I'll show him mother. Tell when you're pay. Ah, and see what I am. Penny, the emergency. If you are probably walk up penny room. As I say, Sitiano, Yavia, ya, Bakuya, we are for Yaji, Kenya. Yadi, quite anything. One, Aquian, and Aquiavante, ask my dear Baron. Says a match of Namati. And to me, yes, Penny, the young 750. And to me, yes, I don't know. Yet the back way, nothing. Carry away. Now, you could see our
The majority clearly agree with Oba, but the woman in white has powerful support. Although dissatisfied with Oba's judgment, the woman grudgingly pays her fine. Oba has just managed to restore order among her women, who constantly challenge her authority. Asante society is matrilineal. This means that the king inherits not from his father's side, but from his mother's relatives. A British-educated barrister, King Ware II, was elected according to Asante tradition. One of the most important factors in his election was the support given to him by the Asante Queen Mother, the most powerful woman in the kingdom. All members of the royal family are related to the Queen Mother, and when a king dies, it is the Queen Mother who nominates his successor to the Committee of Elders, who make the final decision. Unlike our society, sons do not inherit property from their fathers. Instead, wealth passes from a man to his sister's sons. This should mean that the sister has considerable authority, and that women in Asante have more status and wield more power than elsewhere. In practice, for the ordinary woman it can mean great hardship, because if her husband dies, his property goes not to her and her children, but to his sister's children, and she is left with the task of supporting her family. This gathering is part of the funeral celebration of a member of the royal family. The palace is still at the heart of Asante politics, and Oba, the plantain Queen Mother, and her colleague from the Yam section, Amasewa, represent all the market women at the funeral. They make the most of such an occasion and make both business and political contacts, as well as enjoying the dancing. Just as the Queen Mother is crucial to the appointment of the king, the same pattern usually applies at lower levels of the political system. In every village there's a Queen Mother who nominates the village chief, but this unusual power that women have constitutionally is unrelated to their domestic role, which is one of subservience to men. Most women have little power and can only earn status with childbearing and age. Men in Asante marry polygamously, sometimes as many as 5 or 6 wives. A Kua is the senior or first wife. Asante women often live separately from their husbands, so each day a Kua cooks food for her husband and takes it to his house. Amanimo is his junior wife. She too lives separately from her husband, an important man in the village who lives with his uncles, brothers and nephews.
Dinti Emma Yemayan, Asante phone. And answer Emma Winnipe Bia. Just say, Winnipa, Weria Bakwan, 10 Biano. Why in ye pepe? Just say, Obachima, and you can say, where the animal. Na say, any kwaso where the animal, na so area bacopa. No chima, one on quara, move fear, move and modidi. Entino, Sebema, wo na iri emi we chima, we be the animal. We yadia, we befem quara no. Just say, nipa wo hwe ni ye doso. Nti so yiri no mienu dia. Ansa na ba akokwa fumu no na ba akọ ofie. Na wonya hoho a, wono so aboa. Nti me de me fe say Asante fo no awade mienu.
Afame ho mununkum hwi kan enu onu abembe. Afame ho mununkum hwi kan. Ba ti se mi gena we, afame ho mununkum hwi kan. Be me watu me so bo matana ho mabere o. Be me watu me so bo matana ho mabere o. Sa wo mpembe eja mi wa kwankwa buru bi. Afame ho mununkum hwi kan. Ya no me na o chere kwato ja ya ponchere ni ahwiriye bia na me. O chere kwato o ja ya ponchere ni ahwiriye bia na me. Abasa ukunu de fero. Oh awa abane nyi so anu no. Awa de bone te santo magwe. Me koko yi fira ameni ewu amene ni ma bese yonkoi. Ko yi me fira ameni ewu amene ni ta wa kure. Ko yi me fira ameni ewu amene ni.
Asante women have no illusions of romantic love. For them, marriage is important because it provides them with children. An Asante woman's most important relationship is with her children and with her mother, not with her husband. Although a woman like Oba can settle the most difficult disputes in the market, in the home she would have no such role.
And once we be pre-abonting, Asre Penibi Anako Debi say, Dear Ben Misremo Monsieur Patan to Quaname. If it is said, because so Penimua or Bacasma Bokumano Amwa Bono, and I'm coso Penisumua Asamwaba. Dear Vico friend Papontin Sunibi. Now Oba or Patan to Quaname. Now what you do on me no bo amame. No bia a coco aton yamuno. And son of Matimasi, my friend a European, my friend a European, my business a day and a same yaba. Now, will be actually need him. Now, no betch the one at the end. My catcher and the say, now we are no mempe. Now we are no mempe. A nuntino, why any year. When I walk penny. Kumani cho. Just a damn was here, and two penny move pianim, men am hearing one of me, no. Na, and Tiasia Juma, no penny no a pa Kumani cho. No, so none a cocoa drew. None a cocoa drew and my catch and say, Ukra Abba, Mammy, Patan. As a sa, me Malcusiam, you and Alcusiam, and son. No crab. Commands, oh, maybe two, and from Sony be a abba, your crinty, and the chum. What the chum, and I'm Maju Cosium, what you Cosium, a honor, a yameme bearman as a penefetia, a yameme cat, a woman.
Oba's experience of marriage is typical. She was the second of her husband's 3 wives and had 2 children by him. The marriage was never happy.
What do you do? A baby, a friend of what? Our just also dear Jack become once more. Have I yet tin. Now I don't know, I can't say what I know. And some ten. What can be doing here with the General County as a me? Tinny tune, about what I say. I say me a worry, I say my word and near friend of worry. Now I'm the 40 years old, why near? Yan, so Bano will me when you and you don't want you. Well, just say to say, then you didn't. 1 hour.
And worry. No, would you say yes, sir? Won't be worried.
I say, what, sir? And yet, Nazaja, why, I say, what can I say? Say, you only pay your vision, you know. Tell me, you know, he happened. Well, got a corner, where I walk, you bet me to say, me, I am telling you. Now go out, you better I am Ramano. To me, I am Ramano. So I am Ramano, say, yeah. Now, I'm not to what Miss Gaza when I felt what I had. So, Cobra de Mamano, not doing so. That's also come.
And who can I just say, why we?
What can I get? What I want to say about a music and a worry. The Amian Penamam. Some macro. Oh, I come to me, be no him. When you yammy bomb you, the whole gun I was so be a come back once much. Me boom fiasem. So, but so 2 hours and Bano, and Micrism and then Bano and Bano. So, when you miss a map, might be a while, one ekunum ko Arabia and found. Ah, a bit of me, I'm famo. A baby, I'm G. Ya woke of Fabiana, wow, Nabacro, wow, about Arabian Abaco.
Then 'tis all Ginia Madian Carbaco.
And then come down and come to a super. I didn't, but from India, so there be any moon, not so be a baby of a cat. So I didn't know one over ye. As some funny, so yes, some money. Over to you.
Over to you.
Asantes regard their mother's village as their home for life. When women marry, they often remain in their mother's home and live separately from their husbands. Nobody can ever be thrown out of their maternal home, where 3 or 4 generations live together. The market women regularly visit their villages, and Ama Sewa, the Yam Queen Mother, although independent and successful, never misses an opportunity to return home to see her family.
Ahani ya wo me. Ne me papa nyina. Me ma me na me yakwada no me ma me ka baabi ntem. O fie ha yi. Na o ka baabi anu. E ka me ma me nua baako. Na no wo hwe me a. Na me nyini ye. Me papa ni nyina ne ma me nyina ye wu ntem. Ti amama nko school. Ti me ni te ye no ano. Na me nua panyini no. De wo ye hima no America no. Obefa me ko Kumasi. De wo ye ha hima no America no. Ona na me yakwada obefa me ko Kumasi. Okotete me a. Na me nyini ye. Me nyini ye no. Na me ware ye. Me ware be ma baako. Me nene wo ma enwotwe. Ka ye wo nkono baako wuyi. Nti dia akari nyina no ye wo ho. Enwotwe nyina ye wo ho. Ye nyina afi maame baako, papa baako. Ne munu ano na panyine no soso. Oboa me kakra me ye hwe nkwala school. Akire no wuye. Me kunu no. Emuya na mde kosua ba yire to. Ba yire no soso na me tong da bia. Nti eno a ba to no mu no a na mde hwe emofra no school. Ewa mre no. Ukun so fa ba wo panka mpata ne yesire dumiensa. Na wo pawasem a obama wo bia Paul 9. Nti sa mre no opata me Paul 9.
Nenti so opata wi a na kire wo so wote hwa na aka se ade de ni se mepene so a wutimi kofasem no yasem ka bie.
So obama ne ye wade na hye wo na se oba no bia oba ye no wo mpene so a se ma wapata maje na enso so bia ekwane amode me fa so no mpene sa ne wutimi ka
Because a beer you wore as a yibi war, I can move, say.
Say be a yachena. Oh, one of the yasha. A shabia now watch it. Now a crowd say, over corner year will.
Kwame Ajiman is one of the most important men in Amasewa's village. He lives strictly according to Asante custom, but he finds it more convenient not to operate a weekly sex rota. He prefers to keep his wives guessing as to which one he will choose to sleep with.
Obiti semi, Mishishena, as a children said, I hope who gum so dozen. A man so catch it, who she shed no my jealous said. Yamna me da honti me nye. E kan bi so no mo kan. Enti bra ne oti no ha na ne oti me ha no de oda me nche no. Ebi a me ho awo doso, ebi an se ebi aben. No wa ye aduane aba. Ahoho ya doso, mo se me kukuruma ahoho no ne edidie. Na matema se. Besa nko ka chia ne se ahoho abanti no foforo bra me. Obewie pepe pam de be ma mi bia mi bedidie na foforo nam kwam. Ma san de mai, won san nya foforo. After the no abre. Nti me ko kan kire ne wana ho no a wase nyam na meda ho. Ne onye no sa na obeka kire wase nyam na meda ho nti de oda ho no onso no ne wa ho.
Wo tini fie. Na mehye nda no. Ama wo. Chese wo ebi a na otwemienu. Wo da ha na otwemienu. Wo susu da ha na otwemienu nti esene memini na se wo beda ya. Wuduru a wo tam no so na otwemienu pepepe. Na wo no bedsheet ane ya so ne entima no se wo sisa ko na wo kwesi na we so ba no won so ne de set nti won so ba no so wod me de de abisisi so won so wo kwa no so ayire de ko nti tam bia no wo be ma no wo ji entima mienu dabua no wo hia mienu nsa na wo bedsheet no pillowcases ni nyina dabia mienu se woni ba akon so a wo ya ba akon na woni ne mienu a wo yire no so won beti ase enti we ade ba tiam na tuo no be yi akosi atos no ade aba wo so kwa sa no so be ye no enti no de enso so ho no ande anya de a de ne bia firi wa
wo mo pepa na mom eduru kwan bi so a wo mo mpe aso kire se oba bia kire ne nan se o be kan ho
oba ma de wo kan
efiti se bia de odi kan no tenase no wa bre wo ho wa yeye wanya ba bia tem na wo kofa bia be kan ho de wonu wanya no onya biem emu be chemienu efa be kwa efa be kan ne nani eye ne ya so wo ho na mom se wo be ma no hunu ntotoye no a wo bo se wose ye me bradodo enti wa kofa bia be kam ho a me da nyame ase.
There are many aspects of Asante traditional marriage and inheritance to which the women object. They believe the system makes men irresponsible as husbands and fathers. But market women have overcome this problem. Trading has given them financial independence.
It's a Maya player. There's a bit of school. No, no, there were Wupla. I wish I won your palm about. No man, I have fear. I bet say, I need Tiaba. Yes, I say, will be Ada. We are Juma. Now they show when they show ma. I just say, I can't her. You do a fatty, a man, yes, the idea. And it's a one, yes, idea. Now, who come? And then the Amazon. Ya boy ya homa den dia yes adwuma and dia hwoma
MPP say ya o etimi ba se ya Ghana ha se so unu kunukura abobra na be ma ni wuja wo a ne na busuafo ne apam wa firi be ma ni fie enti se wo ba no wa anyere wo ho anya adwuma na biribi se ba se be ma no awuni ya pam wa wo de ahwoma no nana no ma wo ba nante te se obi asabe wa boda enu nti na me ma no ya ni abere a ya yiri ya ho a ya ye adwuma no
na no aha ye wale bebli ebi wo ni yi anan oba wo ba bebli want to me share ba nya je se so wo ba no bo mo den wo so fa bu able ma no want to me share wo ba
na ma no kra wa fa nkwara no a wo hwe ya
can't show you. I just a one up over the National Canal. I have to know the name. A banner crying at the yes, someone out for so an over banner. And then Asante, Bernie, I hear, man.
The women have made a virtue out of necessity, relatively powerless in the domestic sphere, yet often left with total responsibility for their children. The women have taken control of the market, often working 12 hours a day with their babies on their backs. Successive governments have tried and failed to break the market women's monopoly. Their main source of strength is their stubbornness and their determination to resist government directives, whether on prices, taxation or licenses to trade. Men used to trade alongside the women in the market, but over the years the women were so successful at trading that they've driven the men out. Yao Ajaman is the only Asante man left in the tomato wholesale area, and he got his job because his grandmother was the old tomato queen mother.
Say I didn't have any son, no member also. And can jump party, your bomb must be a match to Rabisa. Then Regiment to say, oh, Regiment is a secretary, you know, we have say no keep on my accounts. Sena say, in your letter be a baby, I'm sure I'm trying to say, you may be a bar. I have found my mom, I'm sure I'm quiet. I had to say. Via system ye dwam ya nti ho anso na mo afezu mini ma ya adwuma no enya abotre pa so timi ma ya adwuma cha wo abotre pa.
Most market women are illiterate, unimpressed by the secretary's ability to read and write. They're contemptuous of men's attempts to trade.
Auntie, what Rugagi for my head do feel. I'm my head car, ever see a fish or a curse, and a man, studies or case was one about the other batch in a womb. Nah, to make a send a womb, none no womb, nothing and frigina, Nacy, one year crab womb. I feel no man start to say, yeah, pro, no, yeah, cat. Yes, eh, that's I may work on cry fashion made it to the egg. We were the father every year who to be to me. Yeah, to yan sacra frank craft 1 class and craft way, men, men craft for 1 client. Yan and craft for 1 client, to me, I didn't go down. Yeah, to yan saffron craft one, I was as a one bed and I'm sure the egg you may hear. Yeah, try more so. Quantity you may enter. Men I make a friend. That is so. I don't need to me. Yeah, this is a case of your mamma. To make the sick woman who walk quiet. I walk quiet. I bought you go who says Yatono. I never go who says Yatono. Debbie, what is it here? That's about the office. Now, I ain't even just can't tell you what office. Now, my grandma, what you say, a Juma, young turning to my. Young school, young may be a cassette. And you said a quan now should be a Benyas and Pano bed, you're first of a home. Say a man in tea. Oh, just a one school. Wouldn't him office, Jumay, who should took your share, one super alcohol. When I'm a grassy, or to Taban and Famo Koba. The obedient to the end, I say, now show us how young answer say. May benefit something to college you were here. And to never know some poor medical capre. Major capre. Now, my bomode, and that's a man in tea. Side here, now me bay, where I'm a smile. Just a man who cried and made me wear a minimum. Maybe I see my night. Maybe also, you cry on the oil rabbi, cotton to magazine. No one near no year ran and I saw a quabble channel. No, Marino. I just say yes and say, like a crabby. Near the him. And Timothy was that time I won't be around making me a rammy vanity. My hair. Sanity, and the obedient on your meeting. Woman Yaquano, and yes, I see a woman of the vanity. I know we will be to me. Now, Jumano, and young Juma, no be sure how president Minister Yansa. I can't cry over a while. When I'm sent to my city, Numukra, and the intimate among the scamper.
The women's ability to carve out a good living from trading at a time when the Ghanaian economy is in a state of collapse has often left them open to a charge of profiteering. These criticisms make it crucial for the women to stick together and present a united front. Even Amasewa's authoritarian rule and her appeals for unity cannot prevent disputes. In the market, it's every woman for herself, and pressures to make a profit are such that fights often break out. On a typical day, accusations fly that someone is undercutting or overpricing. For Amasewa, the Yam Queen Mother, her main task is the struggle to maintain order in the daily battle to make a living. This woman is complaining that some of the middle women are breaking the rules by outbidding each other to buy scarce yams.
I'm young, your pine, I come by it. I feel by it, I'm by it, and a boy, Dennis will be a body by it and one on. No be so French, non so be a pot tomorrow. And no, I'm by it and a boy. Auntie, Papa Tremia, Metri Nipa, I'm the aqua so, the aqua slet a queer form, Sabah, you don't know my end and the body. And dear Tisha my end, to a man, none of the Catremia, the Peneso, the back of here, the aqua slamai. Metrina so. And then penny for that, and I say, the action I saw. Now, a bois, or better than my aboard, young Mapa will be to aboard. More pounds of funds are more pounds on. And yes, some of the bar, yet to now call Yana Quatanabo, they never feel near the Coron. About grassy be a reform. Until you be our better aboard now, the Baba Habiano. You're better on a farm about our channel, I want tons heavy. The best I can so you are the buyer and the board, and talk. No, I bought when you are the buyer. About what will be about.
Asantes were among the greatest warriors in Africa and once ruled over an empire almost as large as the modern state of Ghana. Asante men cling to the memory of their glorious past and remember their traditions in festivals and celebrations. All the trappings of their once great kingdom are on show. The keys are a symbol of the wealth of the king, who at all festivals brings out his ceremonial gold. Despite the fact that more than 60% of Asantes are now Christian, at a festival, the priests and priestesses who still believe in and serve traditional Asante gods cover themselves with white clay as a symbol of purity. Although Asante tradition is very strong, this celebration is no more than a ritual put on at the request of the Accra government to welcome the wife of the American Vice President. The market queen mothers are quick to see the political importance of such an event. In order to maintain their control of the market, they know it's vital to keep in favour with both the traditional Asante royals and the officials of the modern state of Ghana. The real struggle between the traditional and modern societies is likely to be fought out by the next generation. Even though economically Asante women have won considerable power, in the domestic sphere girls are still given an upbringing that prepares them for the more traditional role of wife and mother.
Yeah, one. I've been able to school. Ubukuni. O pain. What? What? What man? Amna. Woman, you.
Baby Abena is the granddaughter and daughter of market traders. When she's 3 months old, she'll go every day with her mother to market until she's old enough to go to school. When they reach school age, girls learn about great Asante heroines of the past. Ya Asantewa, the Queen Mother of Ejisu, led the Asante warriors in their last great battle against British colonization in 1901. She's a heroine to every Asante schoolgirl. Away from school, Asante girls are expected to help their mothers with the housework.
Eduho valanda so ma prepare efie eho enyina miwia na maso ejano di nsuo siso ama menana anase obi amene nete owie na so dwale wia echese minsuma kosebi ededwale
ansa wa be school
ai sebase eduane nsu na ebe no ansa menu ansa na be school nso no ane medibi sense ya no eduane nso na magiska.
Education is making girls less and less prepared to accept their traditional roles. Kusi and Alina are 20 years old and will be getting married later this year. If we say, it means say, ya mamma, or more ning you or more warrior. Eh, dear, Cecilia, me feel say, Mamma no ni money na, say, ye jina breeze. Omo nyina akọ school de yen pese e be ware omo no omo so ani abie omo ahu se na area city nti mi nti ase de nti e wo se be ma be fa me no kofa oba foforo ka ho efri se e be ma enioma pii a enkoso yi nti me de mani nji sa ware no ho
Asante has said, a man, a some man, ye. And son, or back, warren, you will be a friend of Bragro. Sabra and see a group be a man who say, where Bermano, I was so soon. Bibi to say, Yamau. Shed them, Manco, and say, it drew some men and my shed them, and my be soon. The announcer show said they at Nema Qua, Unu couldn't bet say, the Sewukunuku Jaria. I was so since you could see a dry, or better was all dinner and see about Bassonau and now Papa one son or no other. Now, or you bequer join by no year, Drianesi, one more come, no proper, then be beer, surround a power away. Or quite you about Sibia or bow Mura, Pedian, a dear Diana now be. Now will be son, no, I am. It's Asante has said, a man of soon, a man on a par.
I will say, and I will be pesset that you son obey.
Media men persevere, Miss.
Home pesa, I think.
If you say, me fee say, yes, I not bear man, mamma soon, no do. Now, say, dear, say, I know. Sanka beer may be sub money be beer, be heavy, be son, a dear. And have some minister. The beer means a mimi juma, make quite juma, won't so be quite juma. Yes, say, as I mean to mean nephew and ready and a name. To be a time I will be point juma, but nothing I mean small point juma. Inti, yes, I say, I call her into Memphis, Bevasa.
Yes, I can't hear you. Then your mere mamma tire. So, yeah, Hanu, be brimha. Farm Mataya, who said, young small man. Was he and young some people say, and son, ye did. And ye someone, ne capra benyano, yet dear my ear said, yet could you man now fire Janamaya, Nieni. And tea Bama will be sending Jahon, no near it. Now, Branos, so now, boy, here. Not O'Brien.
Woman did dry, woman was a canny idea, woman so crying, was a cake. Now, was a canoe, Sabin, and into Devini, one casa means with them and back home and the ones who got no idea.
And to me, Massa, you went to me, can you and your man, she said,
and this are we don't me, I won't mean an account. We did, we are got talk at the Arab brand banner. No one's so fossil, no so I got to know once with the brand banner. And Tino. So what you know, Macra? We bet me and know the idea of both sides, and my fan command, because we bet no aqua into a pay we are. And one man will be as of force. Now, so we are.
Asante market women are certainly resourceful. They dominate the economic life of the region and are determined not to give up the only area of their lives where they're totally independent of men. There have been many attempts to break their domination of the market, but so far no government has successfully controlled them. The market women who sell imported goods undoubtedly hoard their commodities and make enormous profits. But those selling locally grown produce rarely become very rich. There have been several coups in Ghana since independence, and each time the market women have been targets for attack. Since the last coup on New Year's Eve, Kumasi Market has twice been partially burnt by soldiers. Prices have come down, but a lot of commodities have disappeared because the women refuse to sell at government-controlled prices. Once again, the market queen mothers are under attack, and the new government has pledged itself to control them. Oba, the plantain queen mother, is particularly vulnerable because she was a strong supporter of the previous regime. But Oba is one of life's survivors. She's been overthrown before, but has always managed to bounce back to power.
Penny and Pa, yes, so the farming. Over to you. Now, just a farming, no, go shower in a one. Nanuma, yeah, the buy answer. And you might buy to me, I'm a payam, Simon to Mammy. Over to you. What's on your bar? Over to you. What's on your bar? Mami woba wasanyaba. Wobati you. Mami woba wasanyaba. Wobati you wasanyaba. Wobati you wasanyaba. Wobati you. Mami woba wasanyaba. Wobati you. Wakoya no wasanyaba. Obiamanza